Right, hello and welcome to day 10. We have made it a third of the way through. So, yeah, fundamentals. So I'm sitting on a block, easy cross-legged, front shin roughly parallel to the front edge of the mat. Equal weight on both sit bones if you need to. You come up and, land with equal weight through both. And then tummy lifting, that Tadasana, opening shoulder blades. And chin drawn in, back of the neck slightly long. So looking either level and straight ahead or slightly down, just so that you got lots of room the back of the neck. And I want you to keep your head kind of square between your shoulders. So connect your inhalation to lifting into the sternum. Remember the front ribs move back, broad. Exhale, begin to move. Inhale, lift. And try and feel equal weight through both sit bones. Bring the hands round just when they feel about ready. Inhale, lift. Exhale, twist. Just look to see, are you overworking? You're pushing these ribs forwards, draw them back. And release. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Twist. Now, nice in your own practice, you can go on like this. So not pushing into the end range, and just inhale, lift, exhale, turn. Yeah, equal weight through both sit bones. And just repeat to either side. Okay. Keep the block. You're also going to need a belt. And in the best Blue Peter fashion, coming up and into tree pose. So from Tadasana, taking the weight over onto one side, tighten that hip, and you just peeling the lifted foot off. Yeah, if you need support, you can go to a wall and, just take it around the ankle and use the belt. Bring it up and onto the thigh. Remember, pelvis is pointing forwards, the bones on the hips. Foot is above the knee. Yeah, that's why I'm using the belt, otherwise it'd be lower. You want to avoid that. Dangerous for your knee. Risky. Active leg, tummy lifting and opening. Let's go with the hand that's available. And come down and swap sides. So, slow rate of change. You're taking it all onto this leg. It's tightened here. Slow rate of change, lifting the foot. And using the belt to help get the position right, bring the top body back round to face the front, tummy lifting and sort of drawn back this way. Head lamps forwards, and then lengthen groin to inner knee. So the shape of the hip, that knee's going to have to be forwards. Vrikshasana, tree pose. And come down. Padangusthasana 1 and 2, so for those of us that can't, that's 1, and there's the variation 2, and really it's holding your big toe, and then way up here somewhere. Okay, but it's more important to have a straight leg than a grabbed toe. Right, weight onto one side and compact, tighten this. Belt around sole of the foot. Lift and open, collarbones wide. Front ribs towards the back ribs, to say, broad across the diaphragm. Straight legs, both sides. Lengthening into both heels. Now if you keep the legs straight, you can bring it up further. And again, if you need to, you can have a wall to the sides. So you're touching it with the... I'm going to go straight into Padangusthasana 2. Tummy lifting. Especially when it's a bit of a belly, you can get way out of the habit of switching it on. It's time for, certainly for me, to come back to that opposite side. Padangusthasana 1. February kind of knocked me off a bit, and if I'm not careful, I could use that as an excuse until about June. So, going to go back into that 1 again, just because the wobble came out of it. Same belt, same hand, and then you're coming out 2. And I can feel that a real kind of inner thigh stretch, adductors. Okay, so you could have a wall to this side, so you've got a hand coming on and off it, or behind you, or a wall to reach the foot with. And down. Okay. And alright. Virabhadrasana 1. Warrior 1. So call that the front. Let's see. It's a wide leg pose, it's a bent leg pose. And ideally the hips are facing the front. Now, I can either, for me to get the hips facing forwards, I would have to lift that heel, which is fine, because you put it on a block, lift the heel and then put it down, and you can really get the hips in the right place and work on the front of the pose. Okay. Or you can get the heel down to the mat, and then I have to, so if it was up on the block, right, I can really get the hips square forwards. If it's down on the floor, I won't be able to get that, so forwards. It'll have to sit a little bit back, and I'll have to make up for it above, so the trunk has to work more to stay forwards. Yeah, and that just has, it's harder, because when you go into it then, if I show you on the other side, because when you go into this, the hips want to line up with the back leg, like that, and your job is to try and minimise that by, I'd say, lengthening the tailbone down, but you're really bringing the pelvis back to neutral, whatever sense that makes to you. Now, more room to do that with your heel on a block, hips well forwards, and then tailbone down, and keep it down as you bend the front leg. So coming in, Tadasana, let's step 1 foot back. So, right foot back, left foot forwards, for example. Hips square towards the front. I've got the heel on the front foot in line with the heel of the on the back foot, or a little bit more. Headlamps on the hips pointing that way. Now bring the tailbone down. Try and bring this pelvis back to neutral. Just trying to shorten this gap here so you can get more work. And then keeping all of that exhale. So no niggles in the lower back, no pain. Okay, and come up. Back leg always stays strong, and the tailbone is always moving strongly down towards the floor. So it brings on a stretch on the hip flexors. And come in. And again, really working the back leg. Push that heel down and more. Really lengthening here. If there's any niggles as you come into that, don't go so far. Okay. Back leg strong, so as much as you go forward, you've got to really remind yourself to ground that back heel. Okay. Let's do the other side. It's really an intense stretch on the hip flexors. So really important, because of the way that pelvis wants to line up with the back leg, and we're all tend to be a bit stiff in our lower backs. It's a really easy place to get grumbly and niggly, and it's, don't do it, challenge yourself, challenge your thinking. Give me a shout if you need to. Yeah, so back leg strong. I'm not supporting the arch, just the heel, and then the forefoot is on the ground. Okay, back leg strong, tailbone down, tummy lifting, and as I go forwards in it, helps to think about working this hip bone back from the bent leg. If it's niggling, come up a little bit to the point where it's not niggling, and then just work on the back leg, yeah, and the tailbone down. That will give you space to come forwards without the niggle, and just come up, and a few times into it, but always with a strong back leg. Up again, and in. Step your feet together, nice and controlled. Okay, and then downward dog, chaturanga. Downward dog. Take the time to wake the dog up. Bent knees, chaturanga. On through, upward dog. Chaturanga. Or sorry, downward dog. Chaturanga, or your compromise version, upward dog. Strong legs, tailbone down, just like in Warrior 2, Warrior 1. Trick. Alright. Random yoga poses. Adho Mukha Svanasana, Chaturanga, Dandasana, Urdhva Mukha, back of the neck low, Svanasana. There we go. And so up to you then, if you want to, if you feel motivated, if you're into it, then keep going, do another one, do the same one again, or a favourite one from last week. Yeah, and remember in the drop down menu you've got access to that seated finish, sort of seated meditation finish, or Shavasana, so you can kind of build a little yoga class for yourself out of what's there. So there we go, fundamentals, and see you tomorrow, day 11, alright. Namaste.